Stay with us. We have a conversation on this matter here on Ghana Tonight. Here on your Election Command Center, NDC has also called on the Electoral Commission to provide detailed statistics on the printing of ballot papers before the process of printing begins. Already, the Electoral Commission has detailed a number of printing houses they have engaged to print the ballot papers. We'll tell you the exact detail of these printing houses and why the concerns are coming through from the NDC. Stay with us here. As always, you're an integral part of the conversation. Let's hear from you. The hashtag we're using is Ghana Tonight on Facebook and on X. Let's get talking. Let's set up for Ghana Briefs.
Organised Labour has called off its strike. Labour took the decision after agreeing to the measures rolled out by government to address the Galamsey menace. Secretary General of TUC Joshua Nsa was addressing a news conference in Accra.
Collaboration with the Organised Labour and other stakeholders to fight illegal mining, government has asked Organised Labour to nominate representatives to be part of the stakeholders committee to fight illegal mining in the country. Organised Labour has therefore decided to suspend the internal strike action. We are calling all workers to report for work on 10th of October 2024 and beyond. Organised Labour will keenly monitor the implementation of these measures which government has made, and government will hear from us if it fails to do the needful.
Meanwhile, leadership of UTAC says it will proceed with its strike from tomorrow. According to its General Secretary, Professor Ransford Jampo, the leadership of Organised Labour are incompetent and has described the whole Organised Labour meeting as a charade.
I'm in touch with my national president. We are holding our own meeting this evening. And then I'm telling you that we are not going to go by this charade. We are not going to go by this show of incompetence and gross disrespect to other unions for constituting Organised Labour. Clearly, they came with an agenda. Look, there are so many things that are being said about the leadership of Organised Labour and the kinds of things that happened here. Okay, first is those bogus charges and allegations. I mean, otherwise, if you want to meet with Organised Labour, why do you come with a prepared speech?
Residents living along the coast of the Densey River in the Gan West municipality say they are reeling under the effect of illegal mining upstream. Residents indicate that they have stopped relying on the water body for their household chores due to its present state.
I was born in this community, and this wasn't how the Densu looks like. When people were complaining about illegal mining, we thought it would not reach here, but here we are. Our water is polluted.
The
Galamsey that we were told by politicians that it is not mined in Accra, now the reality has caught up with us, and this is what they've done to our water body.
The NDC vice presidential candidate, Professor Nana Jenopoku Wajiman, has accused the MPP government of retarding the country's growth and must be voted out in December. She was addressing traders at the Koforidua Central Market on her last day of campaign in the eastern region.
When we build schools and hospitals, everyone benefits. So why didn't the MPP build some of these projects?
There's more news on 3news.com. Make some time and visit 3news.com. This is Ghana Tonight. Coming up next, Organized Labour makes shocking U-turn to suspend a Thursday nationwide strike expected to put more pressure on government to end the Galamsey menace. And this, they say, was after extensive deliberation with government and also some outline measures that they say that meet majority of the issues and the demands that they put before the table. Now, we're going to get into the exact demands that they say government has met. But this is Joshua Ansah, Secretary General of the Trade Union Congress, the Mother Labour Union, announcing that press conference earlier today, the decision to call off the strike was flanked by a number of other labour leaders, Isaac Bampuado of CLOCSAG, and then also Kenneth Kumsin of the Ghana Federation of Labour. Take a look.
Organized Labour has therefore decided to suspend the internal strike action. We are calling all workers to report for work on 10th of October 2024. Organized Labour has therefore decided to suspend the internal strike action. We are calling all workers to report for work on 10th of October 2024.
So it was on the basis of these measures, as was announced in a statement. Now, earlier, the Information Ministry had issued a statement detailing some measures that had been taken by government to address the concerns that Organized Labour had put on the table, the demands that they had made. You recall that the first on the list of the demands of Organized Labour was a declaration of a state of emergency on the issues of mining in the forest reserves and our water bodies. That has not happened. But then again, these are the other measures that the president announced or had been outlined to tackle illegal mining. More military personnel, says increased military presence, including naval boats, to stop mining on water bodies. That's the first. That's one of the demands that as well was on the table of Organized Labour, a ban on mining in forest reserves. And take a look at the wording. The wording, even though you see there a ban, the presidency's statement talks about a suspension. That's different from a ban. Immediate suspension of mining in forest reserves. So the forest reserves, in terms of mining, has been suspended for now, right? And I'll tell you why. Because the LI 2462 that was passed by Parliament, that gave a mandate to the now Minerals Commission to issue licenses to companies to go and mine in forest reserves. That LI 2462, according to this statement, presidency says they're going to take measures, go through Parliament to have the LI 2462 revoked. Begs the question, what really was going through the minds of the members of Parliament who approved that LI 2462 opening up our forest reserves for mining sometime in 2022? The MPs need to answer that question as well. Now, that law is going to be revoked. That's according to the presidency. Next one, tougher prosecution. 4 courts dedicated to illegal mining cases with plans for more. And also a national pact. Presidency says they support Labour's call that all presidential candidates must be urged to commit to the fight against illegal mining. These are the 4 issues that, according to Labour, is enough for them to take that decision of calling off the strike, which was to take place tomorrow. This particular decision has generated mixed reactions across board and especially across the members of Organized Labour. And this is one that we're keeping an eye on quite closely. But these are the measures that were announced by the presidency, which Organized Labour referenced, and the reason why they have called off the strike. We're going to get a bit more into this. Dr. Richard Amoako Baah is a former head of the Political Science Department, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, also one of the leading members of the New Patriotic, founding member of the New Patriotic Party, is joining us on Zoom for a quick conversation on this matter. Dr. Amoako Baah, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. I mean, you, at least from what I'm reading, you had argued quite strongly that organized labor will not go ahead with this strike. Prior to today, what made you so convinced that they were going to call off this strike?
You see, let me say something that many Ghanaians maybe are not aware of. The presidency, organized labor is no match. I'm not saying that's what happened. I hope they were not bribed. If they were, I can assure you, they'll pay back through their nose. You will see. It's not going to stand. They may as well get their shovels and do Galamsey with themselves. You see? A great, great disappointment, a great letdown, and injustice. It's all about money, nothing else. Let's see what happens in the coming days. If the money is big enough, somebody will take it. I hope it didn't happen. I hope that's not what we are talking about, but I won't be very surprised at all that that's what has happened. They have let down the whole country. All the talk and all the anticipation, this is what they've done. They have to come and explain what they had in mind, what they said before and what they're saying now, so that you can hear them. As I've said, I hope they didn't take a bribe. I hope they were not bribed. And if they were, this one will be the last one they ever took. This one. Because it will not stand. They've let down the country. People have gone to jail, you understand? And you want money to do what you want instead of saving the country. The last hope, everybody had great anticipation. Last hope of what they've done. Let everyone down. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens, indeed. And as you kept making reference, there's no record, at least from where we sit, of they receiving bribes. But obviously, as you said, you hope that's not what happened. But then again, Joshua Ansah, who is the Secretary General of the TUC, indicated that, well, the presidency had met majority of their demands, the reason why they decided to call off this strike. That's not convincing enough?
So why is the Galamsey still going on? How did they explain that one? They stopped the Galamsey. That's what it comes down to, nothing else. You don't want any meaningless details. The Galamsey must stop now. That's the whole thing. Has it stopped? Has the government even given you some lines, deadlines as to stop Friday or Monday? What? They should tell us. What are they talking about? Most of their demands. You should tell us what were the demands and what have they satisfied. Let us know. If they can answer these questions, I'm sure they are honorable. But I will not hold my breath for that. A great letdown, that's what it is. If the money is big enough, somebody will take it. And I've said before, I hope they didn't do that. If they did, this will be the last bribe they'll ever take in their lives. I can assure you that. Not today, tomorrow, the next day it will come.
Say, and Dr. Amoako Baah, hold on a bit for me. I want us to get the full length of exactly what Joshua Ansah, Secretary General of the TUC, said earlier today, the reason why they are calling off this strike, which also take effect tomorrow. Take a look.
The redeployment of the military and other law enforcement agencies to flush out illegal miners from water bodies and forest reserves. The military is now supporting the forest guards of the Forestry Commission to protect the forest reserves from destruction by illegal miners and loggers. Government working with the judiciary has already established 14 dedicated courts, 7 high courts, and 7 circuit courts to handle illegal mining cases. Collaboration with the organized labor and other stakeholders to fight illegal mining, government has asked organized labor to nominate representatives to be part of the stakeholders committee to fight illegal mining in the country. Organized labor has therefore decided to suspend the internal strike action. We are calling all workers to report for work on 10th of October 2024 and beyond. Organized labor will keenly monitor the implementation of these measures which government has made, and government will hear from us if it fails to do the needful.
So, Dr. Amoako Baah, they said they will keenly monitor these commitments government has made from today onwards, the reason why they are calling off the strike. And that's not convincing, you say?
Deal with issues of illegal mining. Are you kidding? It says stop it now, not deal with issues. What deal with issues? The president is trying to buy time, and that's what they've given him. Double talk. Deal with what issues? It's very simple. Stop illegal mining. Galamsey stops now, not tomorrow. Stop messing up the waters. It's very simple. What issues? What issues do they have? Now they're talking on both sides of their cheeks, no so. They are not fools, so what has happened, we will see. You will wish you never did that if you did. Let's see what happens. We are not fools. There is a God in the country. The country is not just there, and you can do whatever you want. God says enough is enough. We will see what happens. Enough is enough. This is why we can't do anything. You can't trust anyone. You understand? So I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised. You say, Dr. Amoako Baah, Richard Amoako Baah, appreciate your time. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. And in fact, you're not alone in this. There are a number of people who are also going the same path. Dr. Amoako Baah is a political analyst and also a member of the New Patriotic Party, joining us here on Ghana Tonight. Now, let's stay a bit further on this. What you see on the screen are the measures that I ran through earlier. Well, the organized labor position doesn't appear to be one that is representative of all members of organized labor, because a couple of the unions, labor unions that form the organized labor, have come out to take a departure from what the TUC Secretary General announced, what I just played to you. One of such groupings is the University Teachers Association of Ghana, that's UTAG. I'm going to show you a statement that they have issued just about 30 minutes ago. We got a copy of that statement coming through hot on the plate right now on Ghana Tonight, and that's what you see on the screen there. This statement came through just some few minutes ago. Outcome of referendum. The National Executive Committee has collated the results of the voting from the 15-member branches on the motion, should the NEC of UTAG declare an industrial action in support of the nationwide ban on mining and prospecting for gold and other minerals in forest reserves, farms, and rivers. A total of 2,762 members across the 15-member branches of UTAG cast their votes, out of which 2,153, representing 77.95% of the total votes, voted yes, that UTAG should go on strike. 607, representing 21.98% of the total vote, voted no against the motion. 2 members, representing 0.07%, voted to abstain. Therefore, UTAG have declared that the motion be carried on. They are going on strike beginning tomorrow, despite the decision by the TUC, which they belong to. But then again, they also have the autonomy to take that decision. And let's hear from Professor Ransford Jampo. He is the president of the University of Ghana chapter of UTAG after the meeting today. Take a look.
I'm in touch with my national president. We are holding our own meeting this evening. And then I'm telling you that we are not going to go by this charade. We are not going to go by this show of incompetence and gross disrespect to other unions for constituting organized labor. Clearly, they came with an agenda. Look, there are so many things that are being said about the leadership of organized labor and the kinds of things that happened here. Okay, first is those bogus charges and allegations. I mean, otherwise, if you want to meet with organized labor, why do you come with a prepared speech? In the meeting, we were not. I mean, I made my first point. Others, a few people spoke, and if you are speaking, then the chairman gets up and says he doesn't want you to talk. And so, if you want to make further suggestions, we didn't finish the meeting, and they called you guys to join the meeting. The 16 public universities have all voted unanimously and overwhelmingly to say that they want to go on an industrial action. And we don't care about what disorganized labor wants to do.
That's Professor Ransford Jampo there. So that meeting he talks about, that the meeting is going to take place this evening. This is the outcome of the meeting captured in the statement I just showed to you. UTAG is going ahead with their strike tomorrow. Well, there are many who would say that UTAG strike may not bite as much as what? You know, the Ghana Medical Association strike, because the students are not on campus. But we do not know how long this will take, because if the students and the issues of the other teacher unions get resolved, then the impact of this strike by UTAG is going to be felt. But guess what? There's a lot that UTAG members do even when the students are not on campus. So that's another matter we're going to be able to talk about. But let's stay a bit on this with the labor unions, because it appears that it is not only UTAG that is taking a detour or departure from the position of TUC. Abraham Komsen is the General Secretary of the Ghana Federation of Labor, also a member of TUC, one of the key labor unions in the TUC, Ghana Federation of Labor, is joining us on the telephone. Mr. Komsen, good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. First off, you were at this meeting earlier today, together with your Deputy General Secretary, Kenneth Komsen. I see in that video we played earlier. Is the Ghana Federation of Labor in support of the TUC's decision to call off this strike beginning tomorrow?
I would say no. You see, the problem is about the organized labor itself. I've been saying it, that we are not organized. If we are properly organized, we have dealt with this issue in a manner that positive results would have been, achieved. But we are not organized. I've been saying this time and again, that we need to put structures in place that will help to, pursue these struggles. The problem has to do with the government, the president himself. We know of Professor Frimpong Boateng's report, and it was very clear, emphatic, that the people involved in this Galamsey are all at the presidency. So if you detail military guys to go and stop it, is there some camouflage? Because when they leave Accra, they will call them and say, look, why? It's our job, it's our business. So please, tone down. Don't go and then, harass the guys. The people, unless we uproot the source, the people who are behind this whole activities, the kingpins. So you see me, all along I had issues with my colleagues in the organized labor fraternity. I had issues because we have not been able to structure ourselves, and we are just beating about the bush. Because I was at the meeting Monday, and it was an eyesore. The way people were throwing blows and all this, if we have really structured ourselves, this things wouldn't happen. I've been stressing on structure. I think last I said it on your program that we used to have the Industrial Relations Act of 1965, which recognized only the TUC as the representative of Ghanaian workers. We were the mouthpiece, and that was it.
So you are not in favor of this decision by the TUC? You don't support it, just like Utah, Ghana Federation of Labour is also taking the same path, and you're saying this is more of a result of the organized labor, correct?
Completely disorganized. We are not organized. So we don't take such decisions, which was okay. It was okay for the country. But the process, the approach, wasn't the best. Because you don't declare strike at the top there when your grassroots members or your locals are not, they don't even understand why you are doing that. So you start to discuss at the levels, the branches, for them to discuss these challenges of Galamsey, and so it will build up to the top. So when you say, hey, let's move, everybody understands what we are doing. And you heard at the region, one lecturer, they say he's MPP. That's not even the issue. But he came with very, very, sensible concerns. That, you have the case like we are not aware. How did you arrive at that decision? So you see, it is the approach and our own structures. That's the problem that we had. I'm not surprised. I knew that nothing was going to come out of this. It would have been better if we had seen them act on demonstrations. That we have even brought some results.
I see. But and before I let you go, how about your reaction to those who suspect that some of you, the leaders of organized labor, were compromised with money? I mean, Dr. Amoako Baah, I'm sure you heard him, made reference to that suspicion. You are a member of the leadership of organized labor. At least you lead Ghana Federation of Labour. Do you also have that suspicion that some of your leaders could have been compromised?
Why not? I do. Because, you see, government, every government, look, we have very big ears, big eyes, big long hands. So where they can see, you cannot see. So they have a way of not only this regime. I mean, it happens from the military up to the they do it. So if you are not organized yourself, they will easily infiltrate and do so many funny things that it happened. And I won't be surprised if really I haven't seen any money yet, because they will not even attempt. I need money, but not this blood money. I don't like it. They won't even attempt. But I know some people, their morals are such that they don't care. Even if the money is coming from Kukufuri's camp, they will take it. So that one, it happens. But I cannot point at anybody that this man took this or that. That one I can't tell. But we all suspect, because people started, mentioning some amount and all that. It could be true. Because it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that we got into this stage without any result. Because you know that these Galan stop, these task forces, none of them worked. And so if government is again promising, why is it possible? They cannot, nothing will happen. I'm telling you. If the state of emergency had been declared, that one even, the chiefs and opinion leaders at various where this mining is taking place could have been, brought on board to help. And the small-scale miners too could have all been brought on board for them to help. Or otherwise, their business too also spoil.
Mr. Gumson, I do appreciate your time on this matter, and I thank you very much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. He is the General Secretary of the Ghana Federation of Labour. He's saying a number of things. They don't support this decision taken by the TUC and the suspicion that a number of you also have about some compromise somewhere is one thing that is gaining currency. We'll see how things play out on that. But if you have had any doubts about there's essential threats that we're faced with as a result of illegal mining, everything that we've been doing here, even across all the media platforms in this country, think about it. Water bodies are being polluted. Say water is life. Forest cover also destroyed. Forest reserves destroyed as we speak. When the last tree dies, the last man dies. According to the Forestry Commission, this was a press conference that was addressed by the CEO of the Forestry Commission in May 2023. They say almost 40 out of the many forest reserves we have in this country have been affected by illegal mining since 2019. The Totua Shelter Belt, Tano Nimiri Forest, that's very popular. Tano Ehro Forest, Tano Anya Forest, Supuma Shelter Belt, all impacted by illegal mining. Subeng Shelter Belt, Pra Enum Forest Reserve, Neung Forest Reserve, Mamang River, Pompo Headwaters Forest Reserve, Kokotinting Shelter Belt Reserve, Jema Assam Krom Reserve, Ebi River Shelter Belt, Draw River Forest, all of these are in Ghana, just so you know. Afao Hills, Bura River Forest Reserve, Bibiani and Yaso Bekwai Forest Reserve there, Birim Forest Reserve, Boitano Forest Reserve, Bonsa River Forest Reserve area, Etiwa, very, very popular on the radar. We've been there, we've seen what's happening there in the Etiwa Forest. It's nothing to be proud about. Bosomchim Range Forest Reserve, we know what's going on. And all of these, Desiree Forest Reserve, Opera Birim Forest Reserve, all these. And if you had doubts, look, if you just take some time, go on Google right now. On the Google map, type the Etiwa Range. What you see there is the Google Earth picture of the Etiwa Forest Reserve. That's the level of devastation in that forest reserve. That's it. And it's spreading by the day. And they are not alone in this. When you go to Kokotinting as well, this is how it looks like on the Google map. Kokotinting, the level of devastation of the Kokotinting Forest Reserve. And it's spreading into the township. If you see the buildings in there, certainly not looking good. That's what's happening right now. We talk about the impact of illegal mining. And this is forest cover being destroyed on a daily basis. By dint of technology, we would be able to see what is happening in all of these places. And I want you, our viewers, to stay with us and follow us every step of the way. So these things are publicly verifiable. So if you make some time, go on your phone. If you have a smartphone, go on the Google map. You will see what I've just put there. That's the level of seriousness that we have to deal with this issue of illegal mining. And this is for the forest cover. How about our water bodies? We've showed you the videos of the Pra River and Cobra and others. But a good friend of mine, Adam Srem, a celebrated videographer who has been visiting a number of these Galamsey areas, sent me a video of the Ofin River. And this is a drone shot. So the Galamseyers were busily using the chamfan to pollute the water. They didn't know that they were being captured up in the sky. Take a look. if you had any doubts, that's a level of seriousness that we're dealing with. So we cannot continue to keep doing the same things, adopting the same measures, and expect different results. It is not business as usual. That is the Offin River and the Chamfan. These young men on it, mining with all the chemicals that you find in there, mercury being the most. And this Offin River is a source for the Ghana Water Company to also distribute and as it were, purify, to distribute water to some of us. It is closer than you think. So it is not just a matter for the organized labor, it is for all of us to begin to get into these demands and ensure that something more than just talk be done to halt this devastating effect of illegal mining. Well, coming up next, the government announced some measures to deal with this matter of illegal mining. Let's stay a bit further on this because earlier today we got a statement from the presidency. That's coming up next here on Ghana Tonight. It's directed the Minister for Defense to deploy additional military personnel to strengthen Operation Halt, the government's initiative aimed at curbing illegal mining, commonly known as Galamsey. And we're going to show you details of parts of that particular statement in a bit. As announced earlier today by government. And I want to say thank you to Adam Srem, celebrated videographer, for those videos that you saw in there. Credit to him. But these are the measures that were captured in a number of statements today. So today we got to know that the government had concluded operational measures to intensify Operation Halt, geared at ridding the river bodies like the Offin River we saw there on the screen, of mining activities. Government to collaborate with small-scale miners, Association of Ghana, in this renewed fight against illegal mining. Small-scale miners are going to be part of it. River bodies and forest reserves remain red zones. Also, Samuel Abujinapo is quoted as saying that whatever measures can be taken within the context of a state of emergency on river bodies, the law strengthens us or mandates us to take those measures. Quote, he thinks the focus of government is to continue with that. Small-scale mining is not permitted in forest reserves. But guess what? It is happening, right? But the Attorney General and the President and government will have to decide. Unquote. That's Samuel Abujinapo, is the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. Now, let's stay a bit further on this statement because Michael Pepra, who is the president of the Small Scale Miners Association, is joining us on the telephone. Michael, thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. We're learning that based on these measures as announced by government, you're supposed to be collaborating with the military in the fight against illegal mining. Are you aware of this?
We just see it on the media that this time around government is going to include us to augment the operations being done by the military. So we are here to have an official communique from government.
Official communication from government to that effect. But are you going to take that step of also reaching out to find out exactly what is expected of you in collaborating with the military to clamp down on illegal mining?
As a matter of fact, we are trying to engage government on the way forward. So I can speak on the fact that we just heard the news on the social media or from you, the journalist. We're trying to get to the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources so that at least we will know the model of the operation. As a matter of fact, we want to reiterate that this call for the destruction, for the stop of destruction of our various forest reserves and then the destruction of our water bodies with small-scale miners, we are in support of any action to curb this illegal mining that we've been faced on. But the truth of the matter is, if we are going to use the military approach, it is not going to yield any result. This is a socio-economic problem. And what is government doing as an alternative livelihood for these people that we are going to drive away? So we think that using the brute force, not using the bottom-up approach, will yield to nothing. And we can state for a fact that those people in the various forest reserves, especially the politicians who are using Chinese to mine with impunity in our various forest reserves, the military cannot go there and stop them. It has happened before. When Operation Vanguard was inaugurated, it came to the public light that they were even protecting these Chinese criminals, and some of these military were in those various forests protecting them. So we don't see any goodwill that will drive these people out of the forest reserve. They are only using us as a decoy. So what we know to court the support of the media and the country as a whole.
Mr. Pripra, thank you. We'll see how the coming days will look like on this matter. Michael Pripra is the president of the Small Scale Miners Association of Ghana. It's all live here on Ghana Tonight. Coming up next, we go straight into matters of election remaining. Your election command center, as the Electoral Commission has already detailed the printing houses are going to be using to print the ballot papers. That's the NDC is calling on the EC to provide detailed statistics on the printing of ballot papers before the process begins on Friday. Stay with us. We're back shortly after this quick break with some more on this. Welcome back to Ghana Tonight. We're live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook, DSTV channel 279, all across the world on 3news.com. This is your election command center. The National Democratic Congress, NDC, is calling on the Electoral Commission to provide detailed statistics on the printing of ballot papers before the process begins. This demand follows the EC's notification to the NDC about the upcoming ballot paper printing and an invitation for the party's agents to be present at the Commission's office on Thursday, October 10. That's tomorrow. Now, the NDC's request stems from the past concerns related to the printing process, particularly allegations of the printing of additional ballot papers during previous elections. But I'm just going to show you right now the printing houses or the companies that the Electoral Commission is engaging. First, that's Sec Print Limited in New Achimota, Back Press at Ofankor, Ghana Publishing Company Accra Central, Inolink Limited North Industrial Area. Then there's Acts Commercial Odoko, Fonstart Limited South Industrial Area, Yasako Company Limited Latebiokoshi, and Checkpoint Limited South Industrial Area. These are the 8 printing houses Electoral Commission is going to be printing the ballot papers for election day, December 7. We are some 59 days away from that day. Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer is the Deputy Director of IT and Elections for the NDC. Dr. Computer, what exactly is your issue with the Electoral Commission this time around?
Alfred, let me say good evening to your cherished viewers. We have serious issues with the letter the Electoral Commission wrote to us today concerning the ballot printing. Clearly, you cannot print ballots without having a register. Without a register, what are you printing the ballots for? Where would they get the numbers to print the register that they intend doing? It is in the ballot papers. Now, if you look at our last IPAC meeting, it was agreed that they were going to give us a revised provisional register because the register they exhibited initially was not good for purpose. And it was bedeviled with a lot of discrepancies. So we all agreed. And we accepted it, their path of cleaning the register by giving us a revised provisional register for us to look at it. If there are issues again, then we bring it for them to now come out with a final register, the satisfied register. They haven't done that. As of yesterday, they were still busy issuing a statement that they indicated they were going to give us the register in 2 weeks' time, and that the 2 weeks has not reached. And so therefore, they are not ready yet. Then in between that, only today, for you to issue a letter inviting us to bring our agents, you want to start printing of notice of polls and then the ballot papers on the 11th, Friday. How do you expect us to accept this?
I see. So
Who ever accepted?
Yes, just for the benefit of our viewer, what law exactly has the Electoral Commission breached in deciding to go ahead with the printing when the register is not ready?
Alfred, this one is a clear thing. You can't print a ballot paper without knowing the number of people that you are printing the ballot paper to cover. We have what we call, we ask for statistics. If you look at our response to them, the General Secretary signed a letter responding to their letter, indicating that we are demanding ballot statistics. How do you get the ballot statistics?
Right.
You get the ballot statistics from the voters' code book.
Right.
In the voters' code book, it will indicate how many voters are in each polling stations. Based on that, they are going to add additional 5% to each of the polling station figures because of spoilage. During voting, some people spoil their ballot. So this 5% addition to the polling station voter register will make room for those spoilages. Mm-hmm. So this is the statistics that we're talking of. Now, you can only get the statistics from a register. Now, as we speak now, we don't have a register. We are now going to do another exhibition. Who knows? During the exhibition, some names will be taken out again. Now, if you base on the figures that we just have, which we don't even know, because we have not seen the register. So on what basis are you going to print ballot papers? Don't forget, they have a history of printing more than 1 million additional ballots during the 2020. And up till now, we asked for investigation about that matter. You remember what they told us when we caught them with that 1 million additional ballot papers they were printing. They said it was meant for second round. But Alfred, you and I know that when you are doing runoff, it's only for 2 candidates. It's not 12 candidates at that time. And so if they have that history, and now you don't even have a register, you don't have statistics, you don't have voter code books, and you are going ahead to print registered, we are not going to accept it. Today, we are not accepting it. Tomorrow, we indicated it to them. Tomorrow, we are having a meeting with them, and we will strongly tell them in their face, if they are going to print poll book, this thing, statement of this thing, they call it notice of poll. If they are going to print notice of poll, we have no problem with that. Because after balloting, the next step to do is to go ahead and print notice of poll, which will indicate the positions and all that.
Right.
We have no problem with that.
Okay, I see. So we'll see how tomorrow that meeting would go, because you've indicated that you're going to go ahead and make your points quite clearly to them. We'll monitor the outcome of that meeting. Yes, quickly. Before
Alfred. Yes, quickly. Yes, in fact, today, I just want to put it on record. Mm-hmm. I appeared on a program, this West African Civil Society Institute, with Dr. Bosman Asari and some senior electoral officers across the globe. And when I questioned him about that letter publicly, how they are stampeding the process of free and fair elections, he indicated, in fact, they are intending to only do notice of polls and not printing of ballots. So I read the letter to his hearing and to the hearing of all the people concerned. And they were all shocked. And I said, look, if that is your case, then withdraw the letter and come out with a proper letter which indicates that we are inviting you to come for the printing of notice of polls, not the ballot papers. But as soon as you add ballot papers to it, it defeats the purpose of what you are saying. So invariably, they themselves, there's something wrong with their commission and they need to sit up.
Okay. Dr. Arsi Tanko Computer, we'll see how that meeting tomorrow plays out. But thank you for this information. We'll keep tabs on it. He is the Deputy Director of IT and Elections for the NDC. We remain your Election Command Center. Let's settle for a final lap of the Voice of the People segment. And I've kept my colleague Emmanuel Samani in a particular location to interact with some members of the general public who have been watching us since we started the show, to have their take and their say on what we are saying about the organized labor's decision to call off this strike beginning tomorrow. He's joining me right now. Emmanuel, where are you and what are they telling you?
Well, thank you very much, Alfred. Good evening and welcome to the People's Voice here on Ghana Tonight. I am Emmanuel Samani. Now, we're on the streets of the capital to find out from individuals what they make of Organised Labour's sudden U-turn not to proceed with their industrial action, which was slated for tomorrow, October 10. Let me just pick some of the thoughts of the individuals here, what they make of Organised Labour's decision, and then we'll keep talking. So, Chief, thank you so much for your time. You're live on Ghana Tonight.
You're welcome.
Organised Labour says they are no longer going to embark on their industrial action tomorrow. What do you make of it?
Well, I think it's a good thing and it's a victory for Ghana. I'm saying this because for a whole labor union, I mean the whole labor union of Ghana to go on strike, I think it would have crippled the nation. It would have brought the nation to its knees or standstill. What I think they've done actually is good, but they should also be on the committee that is going to be set up. I hear the government is going to take representative from Organised Labour to be on that committee so that they can actually bring up their suggestions on how to stop the Galamsey menace. The Galamsey, as we know, it is not one person who can stop Galamsey. It is something that has eaten into our fiber. It's a canker. So I believe for Organised Labour to hold the government to ransom and say that they are going on industrial strike just for the government to ban the Galamsey. In any case, Galamsey itself is an illegal act. So I believe suggestions and this thing should come forward for the government to be able to fight this canker. That's my mind.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Let me just pick some more thoughts what people make of, the Galamsey fight. So I want to find out from you what you also make of, Organised Labour's U-turn. As you know, they were supposed to have gone on industrial action tomorrow, but they say they're no longer going on. What do you make of it?
Oh, it's good. It's good they've cancelled the strike anyway, because it will help the nation. Nation with strikes, with demonstrations and things, it always drags us. It doesn't make the nation go forward in anything. So if they've taken a decision, the organizations, the labor unions have taken a decision that there won't be any strike, there won't be any demonstration or something. It's a good thing.
But don't you think that, withdrawing from this industrial action would actually hamper or go against the fight against illegal mining?
Oh, you see, as they've withdrawn it, then the government is supposed to take over that and solve the problems on Galamsey. Because the government knows if the organizations strike or they go on demonstration, it's going to cause harbor on the development of the nation. So as they've retained it, they've stopped, they've called off the strike. It's good. So the government will take over and take a step to solve the problem of Galamsey.
Okay. All right, thank you so much. I think we have time for one more view or opinion. Chief, many thanks. You're live on Ghana Tonight. We're asking what you make of Organised Labour's decision not to go on strike tomorrow. Do you think that it would help in the fight against Galamsey? Do you think it's going to impede against the fight against Galamsey? What do you think?
My name is Charles Lamte or Lamkwe. Ken Kemin Bami is good because a nonsense is going on the town in the public. How much more ni Mokuneshka ai ni bohu o sofa ni sanobi obi ena chance ko no for o tobo ahun no gbiglo mi no for bi na dan hila. It's not good. E wo no ko ni je ni sana acquit le off. Ineka fear too much because what we guy she plus ni bi papa wo ye ni against wo min pa fa ni akwena wo president ke wo akeshike enye esa Galamsey na kenye esa Galamsey na e ke ni chumo ba function. Okay, she only okay function now ni bi ya no. Oh yeah.
Well, I'm sure, Alfred, you can give us a wrap of what he's saying in Ghana. So here are some of the views from the Oxford Street here, and this has been the People's Voice with me, Imano Samani. Back to you in the studio, Alfred.
Samani, thank you. Thank you very much for this. And yeah, essentially, the gentleman saying that if the president said that he's willing to put his presidency on the line, there's a lot more that is demanded of him to fight illegal mining. That's in summary. But thank you so much. And as always, you have a say on what we say here on Ghana Tonight. On behalf of the rest of the team, we appreciate your company. I'm Alfred Okanse. Have a good night.